Welcome to College Smart Radio, helping you bring into focus the true cost of college and how to tackle the runaway cost of financing a college education. College Smart Radio is hosted by Beatrice Schultz, a certified financial planner and founder of Westface College Planning. Now, here's your host for College Smart Radio, Beatrice Schultz.
Welcome to College Smart Radio. The road to college takes planning, diligence, and late nights. On top of all the hard work just to be accepted, college tuition is rising. We've talked about the U.S. student debt loan on many of these shows. It's now past the $1 trillion mark, and it's the single largest source of unsecured debt. Despite this fact, fewer families are saving for college, and those who are saving less. According to SallieMae's How America Saves for College report, only half of families are saving and only 1/3 have a plan. So, when parents hear about a program where they can get a percentage of the money they spent put into their college savings account, they're wondering, is this for real? What's the catch? On today's show, we're going to discuss the Upromise by SallieMae College Savings Program. Yes, it is for real. Hi, I'm Beatrice Schultz. Welcome to our weekly show, College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of a college education. Our show is all about bringing up-to-date and practical advice to parents who are dealing with the cost of a college education for their kids. With some private schools costing well over $60,000 a year, a UC costing $35,000, and a California State University running $25,000, parents need more help than ever. We bring you that help by sharing ways to pay less, tapping into financial aid, and prioritizing your source of funds to make sure you get through the most expensive years of your life. Based on my own education and experience, I share my insights with you week in and week out. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering and a Master's degree in International Business. I am a certified financial planner and the owner of the San Carlos-based college planning business, Westface College Planning. I host workshops and webinars on college planning and consult with parents on a daily basis. In addition to my insights, I bring in experts in many areas of the college process, from counselors, financial professionals, financial aid officers, student coaches, parents, and even students. You'll learn firsthand the ins and outs of how to pay for college and survive financially. In addition to our show, you can find lots of powerful information at our website, westfacecollegeplanning.com, and also collegesmartradio.com. We have many articles that I've authored with up-to-date information on navigating the waters of paying for the runaway cost of college. We also have a monthly e-newsletter full of content about college planning, and we have a link to our free community parent workshops and webinars that I host to teach parents about how to pay for college and how the financial aid system really works. So let's get into today's show. My guest on today's College Smart Radio show is a vice president for SallieMae, and she leads the company's Upromise business, helping families earn, save, and pay for college. The free program offers members the ability to earn money for college through their everyday spending at more than 900 merchants at upromise.com, dining at thousands of restaurants, buying gas, booking travel, and even buying or selling a home. Erin Condon joined the Upromise team in 2008 to encourage more students and parents to start saving for college early, a cause close to her heart as she has 3 daughters who plan on attending college. Recently, she led Upromise's Simplification Initiative, which included an increase of 5% or more on cashback for college rewards with hundreds of online retailers. Erin is joining us on today's show via phone from Massachusetts. Hi, Erin. Welcome to College Smart Radio.
Hi, Beatrice. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thanks so much for joining us. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what is SallieMae, because we hear it all the time, but not everyone knows what SallieMae is or who they are, and then a little bit about Upromise.
Sure. So SallieMae is the leader in financial services surrounding education. So SallieMae is your full-service provider for helping families save, plan, and pay for college, and Upromise is one component of that. So Upromise is the first step towards college savings. It's a free-to-join rewards program where families, as you mentioned, can earn cash back for college by doing the things that they're doing every day. And from there, SallieMae also offers other products to help families save, whether it be 529 plans, high-yield savings accounts, and when the time arises, we're also there to provide private student loans. to support the funding for college education.
Okay, Erin, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at SallieMae or Upromise.
Sure. So as you said, I've been with Upromise for 5 years, and I have an undergraduate degree in economics. I have an MBA, and I have a lot of financial services experience. And I joined Upromise 5 years ago because I really care about helping families save for college. And my job here is to really make those earnings more meaningful and accessible for families. So as you mentioned, we started our 5% rewards program about a year ago. It was actually April of last year, where we made the conscious choice to increase the earnings that we're giving our members so that they can save in a much more meaningful way, because we found that when they were earning more on everyday purchases, it incented them to save more of their own money and make those contributions for college more meaningful.
Okay, well, I started the show with the premise that many parents kind of heard of Upromise, but they're kind of like, maybe this is too good to be true. Can you go through and explain really how this works?
Sure. There actually is no catch, but there's definitely the perception sometimes that there is a catch. So essentially what happens is we have a network of partners, both online and offline, but primarily online retailers that want to contribute to this mission and pay customers for their loyalty. So to give you an example, if you shop through upromise.com, you visit upromise.com and you click on one of our merchants like Gap.com. Gap is funding those rewards to our customer to help support this mission. So there is no catch, and it's essentially free money for the consumer for doing things that they would do every day.
So can they get credit whether they buy an item from Gap that's on sale, or only for full price item, or is it truly every dollar they spend?
It's truly every dollar they spend. There are a few merchant retailer exceptions, and those are available at upromise.com. There's all terms and conditions, but for the most part, yes, it's on the entire basket.
So what happens to that money? Or actually, maybe the starting point is, if you spend $100 at the Gap, how much would you get credited back then? Is that the 5% you talk about?
Yeah, you would get $5 if you used any transaction vehicle to make that purchase. If you used our Upromise credit card, you would actually get an additional 5% cash back. So 5 plus 5 equals 10 in our world. So by making that purchase through upromise.com using the Upromise credit card, you would actually earn $10 for college on that $100 purchase. And then we offer multiple ways to access those funds for college. We offer links to our SallieMae high yield savings accounts. We have 529 plans that are part of our Upromise investments business, where you can automatically transfer your Upromise rewards earnings to. We also allow you to transfer those Upromise rewards automatically to a SallieMae service student loan. And lastly, we do offer the option of giving families the ability to request a check to use for any other college-related expenses, whether it be books or tuition or even rent. We provide families a lot of flexibility to access those rewards.
That's interesting, the flexibility. Do you audit, or do they need to prove that it's going to be spent on college-related funds? I understand rent can be part of a college expense if you're living on your own and going to college.
It's a good question. We don't audit on that, and there are customers that are using those rewards, I'm sure, for non-college related expenses. But the majority of our members are really joining our program because they care about saving, planning, and paying for college, and they are using those that cash back to support those dreams.
Let's talk a little bit about the Upromise credit card. Can you tell me how that works? Sure.
So our Upromise Cash credit card, we changed the value proposition of that product last year as well. It's issued by Barclays Bank, and the value proposition has gotten even richer since we've moved issuers to Barclays. So the value prop is our 54321. So if you use the card for our online shopping, as I mentioned, you get 5% just for using the card, which is in addition to what you would get for your online shopping reward. You get 4% on our dining program, 3% for purchasing gas with our gas partner ExxonMobil, 2% on movie tickets, and 1% on everything else. And what makes this product truly unique is that there are no caps on earnings. So a value proposition this rich often comes with thresholds of earnings or caps, and our product doesn't have any of those things, nor does it have an annual fee. So it's a great credit card product to begin with, and even more important, it's a vehicle that families can use to save for college, because those cashback rewards can be automatically transferred into a financial services vehicle.
For the credit card, the Upromise credit card, which I wasn't familiar with until you just shared that with me now, what would happen if a family didn't pay their credit card bill for that credit card? The same as any credit card?
It's the same as any credit card. Our customers have been very satisfied with the service that they've received from Barclays, as are we. And it's a standard credit product where those terms are variable depending on the customer.
Well, I think that's a great way to be able to make more purchases. And how many credit cards are out there today? You said you've had this for a couple of years. I know SallieMae is a pretty big organization. Do you know how many credit cards are out there today being used, the Upromise?
Oh, we have over 250,000 very active credit card holders, and we have almost 500,000 cards out there.
How much money are families typically saving, and how young are they starting to sign up for the Upromise program?
So those are great questions. Families, what they can save in terms of Upromise rewards is really variable depending on the effort that they put in. So one of the good things about our program is that you have to actively get involved and make conscious decisions about changing your purchasing behavior to earn rewards. So by doing that, families naturally become more invested in the mission of saving for college, and as I mentioned before, they do those other things that are really important. And I apologize, but I missed the second half of your question, so if you could just repeat that.
That's okay, Erin. The second half of the question was related to how much people are saving, but I'm going to take a quick break here, so I'm going to come back to that question when we come back. You're with us on College Smart Radio, where my guest today is Erin Condon of Upromise. We all know that college is expensive and will most likely be some of the most costly years for a family. Understanding the cost of college and how to reduce expensive and navigate the financial aid system is a smart thing to know. To help families be on this radio show, I host free community workshops and webinars several times a month that explain the costs of various colleges, how the financial aid system works, and things to consider to prepare yourself for this tremendous expense. We'll be right back on College Smart Radio.
For more information on today's topic, visit collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. College Smart Radio continues in moments on AM 1220 KDOW. Contact Beatrice Schultz at collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. Now, back to College Smart Radio with your host Beatrice Schultz on AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of college. I'm Beatrice Schultz. If you've just joined us, I'm talking with Erin Condon, Vice President of Upromise by SallieMae. Erin, I interrupted you. We were just talking about how much do you see families are saving in their Upromise accounts?
Yeah, so in their Upromise account, as I mentioned, what families earn is really more a function of how involved they are and how much they're making conscious decisions to change their purchasing behavior. So if they come to upromise.com and they know they're going out to eat, by searching one of our Upromise dining locations, they're going to earn more. So it's really about what you put into it. Or if they're going to make an online purchase, they're trained to come to upromise.com first, search for one of those merchants that they're interested in and make that purchase through us, that they don't leave any money on the table for college. As we know, families set really high goals for college savings, but a lot of families don't have a plan in place to meet their own needs. And oftentimes what they think they're going to save over time is nowhere near what they actually do end up saving.
Yeah, unfortunately, I see a lot of families that come into my office and maybe they've got enough saved for half a year at college and they're hoping to go for 4 and they're hoping not to go for 5, but sometimes they have to pay for that 5th year, unfortunately, too.
Yeah, exactly. Our research shows our How America Saves report shows that families anticipate being able to save about $40,000 per child, but most save less than half of that.
So maybe you can talk a little bit about this How America Saves for College research report, and I will have a link to it on my College Smart Radio website. Is this a one-time report? Is this an annual thing that SallieMae does? Share a little bit about the report with us.
Sure. So SallieMae publishes two very important reports. They do a How America Pays for College study, and then they also do a How America Saves for College study. So we produced How America Saves for College this year. We had produced it 2 years ago, and it's been interesting to see the trends. And unfortunately, the trends aren't moving in the right direction. So 2 years ago, more than 60% of parents were saying that they were saving for college, and today, now less than 50% are saying that they actually are trying to save at all. And a lot of the people that state that they're not saving cite a few different reasons. So some families are just overwhelmed by the growing cost of college, and they're paralyzed to start. We see that a lot. A lot of families just haven't gotten around to it, or their children are too young to think about it, or they expect scholarships and grants to cover the cost. One thing that we find both in the Upromise business and across our other education businesses is that families actually start saving for college later than we would recommend. So most families get the first instinct to start saving when their child is around 4 or 5 years old, when they start preschool. But more and more families need to start thinking about this when their child is born or even beforehand. It's never too early to start thinking about saving for education for the next generation.
Well, I've talked about the fact that if you wanted to pay for your student to go to 4 years at a UC, and we assume it's about $33,000 today, everything included, at the University of California school, families should be saving about $900 a month, and that's just for college. So the numbers are huge. So that's why something like this Upromise program, where you can set some money aside that doesn't have to cost you money other than perhaps changing your spending habits, can be a program I think some of our listeners are going to be interested in.
That's great. And we recognize that by making purchases through our partners, we're not going to be, the average American family is not going to be able to save the entire cost of college. But what engaging in a program like ours does is it's quick wins. It's an easy way to get started. So if you can accumulate even $50 or $100 in a year, and you get the discipline of thinking about saving for college, then you're more apt to think about, okay, maybe if I just direct deposit $25 a week and have something set up, and now I'm going to check out the 529 plan. So we like to be the easy first step to get people thinking about this and get into the habit of saving for college, because it's not easy, and it's going to take a lot of vehicles for most families.
You mentioned that paralysis to get started. This is a great starting place that may not cost any money, but it does take some spending behavior changes. If I've got some listeners in on the program that are merchants, how would a merchant participate in your plan so that they could be identified perhaps as a dining place where family would be able to choose to go dining because some of the money would go towards a Upromise account?
Sure. So if merchants wanted to visit upromise.com, there's information on our site about how merchants can participate in the program.
Okay, and then for families that are interested in participating in the program, that's at upromise.com also?
Yes.
How about, do parents need to designate the name of a student the way that you would in a 529, or the beneficiary in a 529 if they want to set up a Upromise account, or is it one per family?
It's optional information, and you can save for multiple folks, and you can save for yourself. You can save for a grandchild, a friend, a niece or a nephew, and you can put as many beneficiaries as you want. There aren't restrictions like there are with a 529 plan about how the Upromise cash rewards need to be used, but we do offer that information. Ask that information because, again, it's a way for this program to feel more real for households when there's a name of their child or niece or nephew associated with what they're doing.
It does feel real, and for the merchants where you can get a 5% cash back, I think I'm not even aware if there's really any other credit cards that give you that much of a cash back. You often see the maybe 1.5% or 2% cash back, and often they have a cap on them. So that's nice for families to understand that's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned with the credit card, it really is 10%. So we are very unique in this space right now.
So talk to me a little bit about the choices that families have to do with the Upromise savings account. You mentioned them briefly, but maybe you can just go through the different ways that they can, I know you mentioned a 529, but maybe you can go through the different places that money can be set aside.
Sure. Yeah, so we have a Upromise Investments business that administers 529 plans in a variety of states. So you are able to link your Upromise rewards to one of the 529 plans that we offer. We also have a high-yield savings account that is offered by SallieMae Bank, and it's a very competitive product when you look at rate. So it's a very attractive product. And one of the other benefits of taking that product with us is that if you link your Upromise rewards to one of our high-yield savings accounts, we will actually match what you earn in Upromise rewards by 10% at the end of the year. So if the member earns $100, we're actually giving them $110 just for putting that money into a high-yield savings account.
Does that 10%, is that the yield, or is there also a savings interest on it, or is it a 10% yield?
There's also a savings interest, and our rates are very competitive amongst all the other top rates out there. And I'm not going to try to quote them because they're variable and they move every day. But we offer a very competitive online savings rate. And we also do offer the option, which more and more families are using, which is great, to leverage our service well beyond college. So as families enter college and they use student loans to help close the gap, we're there at the end, long after the student graduates, to help them use our Upromise rewards to pay down those student loans faster.
And if students have graduated and they have government loans, like Stafford loans, can they also save the money through the Upromise and then pay back other loans, like government loans or private loans, or is it specifically for the SallieMae loans at this point?
If the loan is serviced by SallieMae, customers can set up a direct link. However, even for loans that we do not service, we encourage loan holders to use our service and request a check and apply those rewards directly to their other loans.
Sounds like a good program. For the 529 plans, how many 529 plans does SallieMae have, or is there only one? Tell me a little bit about them.
So our Upromise Investments business has 529 plans in about 16 states, but we also offer a Upromise national plan. So we encourage families to check out the state options in their specific state that they live in to identify tax advantages that may be associated with taking their state's 529 plan. But then once they understand those options, we also have education on 529.com where families can learn more about which product makes the most sense for them.
Sure, and I understand that. And for families that are listening in California, we unfortunately don't have any tax advantages for contributions to 529 plans, but we do have tax advantages for money that's spent, that the earnings are accrued tax-free if used for qualified education expenses. And the other thing that we talk about on the show is a little bit about the financial aid and how any money impacts your qualification for financial aid. So one of the things is that if you have a Upromise account set up, savings or 529, it is considered a parent asset, not a student asset, which is better for qualifying for financial aid. And if your grandmother has some money in a Upromise account, it wouldn't show up as an asset on the FAFSA. Erin, we've only got a couple minutes left in the show. What would you say are the top 5 saving tips for parents and students saving for college?
Sure. That's a great question. We have many tips, but if I had to narrow it down to 5, I'd say that we really encourage families to get their children involved and invested in their savings and future early. So it's never too early to start talking to your children about the value of a college education and what they can do to start saving for it, whether it be a summer job or doing things to earn a weekly allowance, getting them excited about contributing to their own savings in future. The second tip that we like to provide families is to use a dedicated college savings account to save. So, and that can be different for the family depending on their level of flexibility and whether it's a high-yield savings account, a CD, a 529 savings plan. But set aside a dedicated account where all the money that you put into that account is going to be used for savings.
Hey, Erin, I need to apologize. I didn't give you enough time to go through your 5 tips, but those are 2 good ones. We just have a couple of seconds left on the show, but thank you so much for joining us and sharing us information about the Upromise program.
Thank you. I definitely encourage all your listeners to visit upromise.com to find out more.
A link to the Upromise website with valuable information and interesting articles is available on our College Smart Radio website. You can go to Upromise to sign up for the program. Well, that wraps up another weekly show of College Smart Radio. We hope you picked up some new information today that helps you figure out ways to manage the runaway costs of college. You can hear us each week here on 1220 KDOW, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Plan to join us at one of my upcoming Westface College Planning workshops. You can reserve your seat for a workshop from the show's website, collegesmartradio.com. Thanks for tuning in to College Smart Radio. We look forward to sharing more helpful information with you next week.
You've been listening to College Smart Radio with certified financial planner Beatrice Schultz. If you have questions on today's topic, log on to collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. That's 650-587-1559. Join us next week at this time for another edition of College Smart Radio on AM 1220 KDOW.